You do not want to miss this. Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's huge summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Carpets, rugs, upholstery, tile, and even air ducts all 15% off. Use promo code summer sale at ZeroResAsheville.com. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to wind down, many Americans wonder if it's still necessary to get vaccinated. We asked Dr. Sheldon Ricklin, family medicine physician and associate professor of family and preventive medicine at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, the continuing importance of COVID-19 vaccines.
Thankfully, the numbers are great, but it's still happening, and we still have people in the community who are getting infected. For myself, as a family physician, as a provider of healthcare, I am still encouraging my patients to still get the vaccine, especially if they've never been vaccinated. Because, we know that the vaccine and the booster shots are very safe. So the vaccine, the boosters are the best tool that we have currently. Adding that to the masking, especially indoors where you're in communities where the numbers are high, is the best way to protect yourself and your family members.
To find COVID-19 vaccines and boosters near you, check out vaccines.gov.
Big news from PhD Weight Loss, the program that's been helping the Sportsocracy lose pounds and discover a new, healthier us, is proving its championship-level results. It's now the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Coach Sweeney said it's only unthinkable if you don't think it. I never thought results like losing more than 50 pounds in 4 months was possible, but PhD's all-in approach has made a believer out of me.
Since starting with PhD Weight Loss, I've dropped back down to my high school weight, but the best part may be the effect on my sleep. The weight loss has helped me experience restful sleep for the first time in a long time.
We've seen the results, and now PhD's program has been validated further as the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. With PhD, you get a 5-star commitment to you and your success. Book a consultation with one of their Hall of Fame health coaches today at myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
This station is participating in a nationwide text-to-win sweepstakes where each weekday up to 3 lucky winners will win a trip for 2 to the 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival on September 23rd and 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada. For more information about the sweepstakes, go to the station's website and click the Contests tab.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A 24th woman has filed a civil lawsuit against Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, alleging inappropriate sexual conduct. Watson has denied any wrongdoing. The NFL is investigating whether he violated the personal conduct policy. The Brooms out for the Avalanche with a win in Game 4 against the Oilers tonight. Colorado completes the sweep in the NHL's Western Conference Final and moves on to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since 2001. NBA, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting Jazz All-Star guard Donovan Mitchell unsettled, unnerved, and wondering what the loss of Coach Quin Snyder means in the larger scope for the organization and himself. Mitchell will be a factor in Utah's head coaching search, explains ESPN senior NBA writer Andre Snellings.
Mitchell is going to be a key to whatever decision they make because either they're going to try to build around him or they're going to try to let him go, and they know that there'll be something that has to either replace him or there has to be a rebuild. So I think he's going to be a key factor.
Andre Snellings on Greene. Currently, Utah has made it clear it has no interest in moving Mitchell.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, Click on the live video link and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Yes, the NBA season continues to roll on. It
never
finals.
ends. It actually never ends.
It is the season that never ends.
We'll actually be doing this for it doesn't even stop. We crown a champion, we have the draft, and then the preseason starts the next week.
Right. I mean, it's a 24 or a 12-month a year business, right? That's what we all say about the NBA. No, that's what we say about the NFL. You've got so many people clamoring for more NFL content and no one clamoring for more NBA, but we continue to roll on here in the NBA season. It's very special that this all is still going on. We're only at game 2 of the NBA Finals. It could take another 3-4 weeks, maybe.
I'm just curious how long it's going to be before we get another one-possession game. We haven't had one in almost a month.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, actually. It's a big problem. A big problem for me as a viewer of these games when one team just gives up.
And there's
a problem.
And there's a very specific reason why this happens. And a pretty good former player, pretty good analyst, had a problem. Adam Silver basically came out and said, yeah, I'll consider shortening the schedule. Of course you will. Of course you will. This season has literally sludged on in a way that I don't think I've ever seen.
But is he going far enough is the question. Because from what I've seen, shortening of the season, okay, we're going to cut it by 4 games and have a mid-season tournament. Woo!
Not enough. It's 56 and call it good.
56?
56 and call it good. That's the number it takes for you to play everybody in your division 3 times, and you play everybody else once. Done.
It'll never happen.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I think it has to. I think if you don't do something, this league's going to be completely extinct within, and I shouldn't say it that way. They will continue to play games. They are hemorrhaging money. This is not just, we lost some dollars. Between the issues with China, which Adam Silver touched on in his State of the Union address, and now just the fact that nobody cares.
Yep.
Nobody cares about this series. Have you looked at the ratings of this at all?
No, I have not.
Game 1, which I thought was good enough in the fourth quarter that I thought the rating would be at least substantial. Was the worst rated finals game in 25 years.
Not surprising.
Now, you got to take out the 2 coronavirus years. Why we have to take those out, I don't really know. But, it was at a weird time. Who cares? It was actually better for you.
Right.
Because now everybody's on vacation or they're outside doing stuff because the sun, I don't think, goes down here until about midnight.
Nobody's afeared. They're not cowering in their homes just waiting for something to, some glimmer of the outside world like the NBA Finals would give them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the quality of basketball, if it's just this overall, we all have this overall theme of players don't care as much as they used to.
Well, that's a problem in everything. Nobody cares as much about anything as they used to.
True. There's not as much effort going into the games as there used to be. I don't know. Maybe it's revisionist history on my part, but I don't remember a whole lot of watching the NBA and going, yeah, as soon as a team gets a 15-point lead, the other team's just going to give up.
And they did. I mean, the Celtics completely tapped on the fourth quarter.
Yes. They didn't. So Golden State didn't even have to play Steph Curry 1 second in the fourth quarter last night, and Boston didn't take that as an opportunity to try to come back in the game. They were like, screw it.
We're fine. We'll go back to Boston. They're crazy people there.
Payton Pritchards and, Daniel Tice's and whoever else we could throw out there. It's just fine.
It's just disgusting.
It is. It's
I'm dumbfounded. We have not had a single possession game in a month. That's almost impossible to do. It is borderline impossible to have 2 teams that are trending in the same direction, and you cannot have a 1-score game. It's just a huge problem. And I understand the narrative of, we can't give up the home gates. Look around. Oh, but it was electric in Golden State last night in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen empty good seats during the playoffs.
Yeah. And it doesn't surprise me at all. And it was Richard Jefferson who is talking about coddling the players and all of this. I don't care. I don't care about coddling the players. I don't care about screwing with records. I don't care about any of this stuff.
I don't. None of it matters.
What I want is a watchable product. I want a watchable product that I'm going to feel like the 12 guys that you're going to roll out there for X game in the middle of the season, it's going to matter. We've talked about this several times of how bad does it look on the NBA when they have the Los Angeles Lakers come to play the Charlotte Hornets and the stars aren't playing.
I'm not even going there.
Okay.
The stars not playing. I think that is one of the most overrated things that we talk about ever. You cannot ask these guys to play 82 games and then play a 47-game playoff, and, that's just fine. Have you seen LeBron lately?
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little decrepit now, doesn't he? Because he's played 5 extra seasons in playoff games. I'm not even talking about that. I'm looking at the NBA Finals. You have one of the 2 legendary franchises in this sport, Boston Celtics, chasing the titles championship. The Golden State Warriors, who are probably the most popular team of the last 10 years. You can't draw a number.
Mm-mm.
You can't draw a number. And literally, it's so bad that on the NBA, if you go to the NBA's homepage right now, you know what the headline is? NBA Finals ratings up 37% from last year. Oh, you mean that series that no one watched?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're hanging your hat on. We went from nobody to, Dave's here.
We got somebody.
Dave's watching.
We got some warm bodies watching the NBA playoffs. But I think it's because we've all realized that we don't have to. As a sports fan, you don't have to care about the first couple of games of a series. A 7-game series doesn't really matter because here's the thing. Here's what you're going to learn in the first couple of games of the series. So first game, Boston comes out and they win in dramatic fashion with that fourth quarter performance. Okay. But I didn't really care because there's 6 games left after that. Second game happens. Okay, I'm not really going to watch it because one of 2 things is either going to happen. Either Boston's going to take a 2-0 lead and I don't have to watch any of these NBA finals because I know it's going to be over. Or Golden State's going to tie it up and then maybe I'll watch about game 5 to see who has the advantage at that point. I don't know. Maybe I'm different than everybody else, but that's kind of my mindset of I don't have to watch these games. All I can do is just I can get the little highlights on my phone, and then I can move on and decide when I want to watch the series. And you know when I'm going to watch the series? When there's some drama, when there's some intrigue, when backs are against the wall, when it's time to go. Shorten up these series, and you're going to get those fans quicker.
I mean, I don't disagree with any of that. I just don't understand how you think, and I've said this about baseball forever. How do you think you're going to keep anybody's attention for this long?
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make any sense.
No.
And I've gotten in this argument, I think 9 days in a row now, talking about the NFL. Why is the NFL so popular? It's not the sport. It's not the sport.
Okay.
The sport's great. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
There are a few advantages that the NFL has that no other sport has. Fantasy football, exponentially more popular than any other platform.
Right.
You also have way less inventory. You can be the most dead-in-the-wool NFL fan in the world, and you still have half the year to do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is every day. Major League Baseball is more than every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's all-encompassing. And we're just at a point in this country where nothing resonates that way.
No. You know what resonates with people? Urgency.
TikTok. TikTok resonates with people.
Well, I guess there's to some people, yes. But urgency resonates with people. That's why I feel that, the NFL is so important. Because it gets down to the end of the season, every game matters. There's a sense of urgency each and every week. You don't have that in the NBA. You don't have that in Major League Baseball. Because you can check out for half a season and then rejoin and see, is it worth following the sport? No, my team sucks. Okay, I don't need to do any of it. I don't know. It's the textbook definition of fair weather fans, which I think we've all become about every sport except for the NFL and college football. If you're a college football fan in the regions that care about college football, it's the same way. Every game matters. You need urgency for anything to matter in today's day and age. And it doesn't exist in baseball. And I'll say it doesn't exist in hockey. Their season too long as well.
Hockey's been fantastic.
But
then again, I only swoop into the hockey in the playoffs.
Right.
I am just now to a point where I even reasonably care.
Mm-hmm.
Also doesn't hurt that the team that, my team supports is also there.
Right. But, Adam Silver talks about wanting to shorten the season. Ooh, you're going to go from 82 games to 78 games. Plus, we're going to have a midseason tournament. I don't see how that cuts down on your problem. If part of the problem is, well, it's such a grueling season that there's all these injuries and stuff, 4 games is going to matter?
Well, and a great point posed in the YouTube comments. Lenny Loxley said, NBA treats players like program robots. There's no personality advertised whatsoever. That's another problem. How many players do you really feel one way or the other about? And why is it LeBron James, end of message?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'll be honest, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I never thought I would miss LeBron in the playoffs. At least it gave me a rooting interest.
Right.
I could care absolutely less who wins this series. Other than the fact I have more than one, less than 100 little slips of paper that say Boston Celtics plus a rather large number.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I care who wins it.
If you're not betting this, I don't know why you would watch any of these games.
I just don't need to. I don't need to see every game to see how it turns out.
How many minutes of last night did you watch live?
Probably about 8 or 9. I would say it was about 8 or 9 minutes.
You beat me by however many minutes that you're going to land on your answer is.
Right. I noticed in our little text thread, our little House of Reprehensibles text thread, everyone was watching something other than the NBA Finals.
It almost got comical what people were doing to avoid watching the NBA Finals.
Of course, our wrestling friend, Kevin, he was watching Hell in the Cell last night, which I did tune over for about 5 seconds.
And then
I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I did not. I did see a picture of somebody that looks like their shoulder exploded that apparently was fighting last night.
I missed that.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. If you're watching it and feel free to throw it in the comments.
Right.
I read somewhere he had a torn pectoral muscle and still wrestled with that.
Yeah.
I've never personally done that. I did separate my shoulder one time, though. If they're even vaguely close, good on that guy.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't brush my hair for 3 months.
I switched it over long enough to see our local Ashevillean Edge and his team win the 6-person tag match. I don't even the New Testament or whatever the hell he's calling this.
Andreas Pinckney said it was Cody Rhodes. That was
okay.
Son of legendary.
Ooh, that was in the main event?
Oh, nice. It was gruesome.
Nice.
And I'll be honest with you, that was more interesting. In spite of the fact I know it's 100% scripted, that was more interesting than the NBA was.
Right. What do you think about Richardson's comments, though? I mean, he's all upset that they want to denigrate basketball.
Well,
or
look,
degrade the product.
I will take every opportunity because he basically said this is the players being soft.
Yes.
That I will usually take any excuse to call the NBA soft. That's not what this is about. This is you're looking at a problem and taking it as an insult. We're giving you a way out. That's all we're trying to do is give you a way out of this. And you won't take it.
Yeah.
And it's you asked me what I thought of it. It sounded like every baseball player I've ever heard. Every baseball player I've ever heard talk that does not want to admit they have a problem puts their fingers in their ears and goes, nope, the love of the game.
Right.
And Derek Jeter can't get 100% of the vote and all the stupid things they do. And I'm literally watching basketball go right down the same path.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this all goes back to something I said a long time ago.
What is that?
when college basketball did not, everybody has to play a year, and you started doing the Kyrie Irving thing, and you weren't having ready-made stars, and now you've got 3 of your 5 best players are Euro guys. It's a perfect storm of problems all at once, and it's not going to get better.
Yeah.
It's not going to get better.
So part of the NBA's problem is that guys don't stay in college long enough?
Well, you don't have ready-made stars. Look at the draft, and I'm the NFL draft guy, so I'll use that. Mm-hmm. How many ready-made stars did you have in that selection process?
Oh, just a couple.
I would say 15 at the minimum. Name me the last ready-made star we had go into the NBA draft. Oh, Zion, who's played about 9 games more than I have?
Right.
Good for you. Good for you. It's just it's a disaster. I mean, I've listened to all these other shows in between when I got here this morning and when we went on air. I got news for you. This is the only segment you're getting on this from us.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Oh, Boston was terrible in the third quarter. Well, they've done that a bunch of times. And this time they just so happen to tap out. Golden State's really good in the third quarter. Nothing has changed for me. I think they're going to go to Boston, get shellacked once. Maybe we'll get lucky and have one close game. They come back to the Bay, it's 3-1. Last night didn't change a thing for me.
So you're still Boston Celtics in the driver's seat.
No doubt.
No doubt about it.
Nothing changed last night. You do realize that the 3 starters not named Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 6 points, right?
Yes.
Kind of hard for me to, I don't feel like that's going to happen again.
No, you don't. It's a whole lot of, and that's part of the NBA problem is you never know what you're going to get every night. It's like, Forrest Gump and the box of chocolates. You just don't really ever know what's going to happen. You see the Boston Celtics come out with an incredible second half, well, I guess just a fourth quarter in game 1 to come out with the win. Last night it was all Golden State in the third quarter and Boston gave up. What am I supposed to take away from that other than Boston's just biding their time? We're just going to wait.
They got what they wanted. They got one game on the West Coast. Now they're coming home. You don't have to win another game on the road.
Right.
And that arena is going to be ridiculous.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. We're always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Tuesday and Wednesday for us, and kind of a soggy forecast here into the midweek. Could see some half-inch plus downpours here, kind of a wet weather pattern this week. A front approaches Asheville for Tuesday and Wednesday from the west. 62 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Scattered storms Tuesday, 79. And then more showers, thunderstorms Wednesday, and a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
NHRA is back. It's the NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals Father's Day weekend, June 17th through 19th at Bristol Dragway. Kids 12 and under are free. Get tickets early and save at BristolDragway.com.
The job market is competitive right now, so you need to be competitive to attract top talent. If you're trying to fill open positions at your business, iHeartMedia is here to help. Use radio and digital targeting to find fresh, passive candidates currently in the workforce. These candidates are listening right now, looking for new opportunities. Together, we can let the community know you're hiring. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
We're in the most active season of the year right now, but if you have joint pain, you can't live like you want to. Hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. It sucks the fun out of living. But I've got fantastic news. QC Kinetics is helping people here get the fun back with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office, non-surgical treatment can repair and restore restore damaged tissue in your joints, giving you real, lasting relief from pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, including right here. Yes, you can get real relief from pain with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now and get a totally free in-office consultation. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. That's 828-333-9517.
Here's to the great American settlers, the millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, "Hey, I'm no settler. I'm an explorer." Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and while the NBA Finals are tied up 1-1, they're making the trek to Boston. Got a couple of days off now.
Speaking of days off, we have one of those tomorrow.
Yes, we do. Jeremy's going to be on the golf course.
I will be on the golf. But see, the way you said that made it sound bad.
I did.
All right, I'm not just taking the day off to play golf. It's golf for a good cause.
That's right. He's good. He is now going to be a member of the iHeart team competing in the Brad Johnson Celebrity Classic.
Yeah, I was the last call. I was the last need that they needed.
Well, look, I mean, at least you broke into celebrity status, though. I mean, see, this is the first step, and then... the sky's the limit. The ceiling is the roof, as Michael said.
So here's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all these very wonderful people that have absolutely no idea who I am. And then I step up on the tee and they go, "Who let this homeless guy on the course?" Then they figure out, oh, he can only hit one club in that bag.
Right.
He's got a driver, and he hits that like Thor's hammer. Everything else is sketchy at best.
So Jeremy got the call last minute to fill in on the Brad Johnson Celebrity Classic team. So
your greatest ability is your availability. And
that's right.
I'm always just a phone call away.
That's right. But while the Golden State Warriors have this couple of days off, coming up tomorrow, assistant coach Kenny Atkinson is going to be meeting with Michael Jordan. And today, Mike D'Antoni meeting with Michael Jordan, and pretty much whoever impresses Michael is going to be the next head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, correct?
And Hornets fans, you should any wishes you have to cash in, Kenny Atkinson's the right call.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to score 130 points a night, fine. You want to make the playoffs and get just absolutely smoked in the first round, you can hire Mike D'Antoni. I'm trying to figure out who he has nefarious pictures of. That's the only thing that explains to me how he's still getting interviews.
Mike D'Antoni?
Yes.
Come on. I mean, when you can put together winning teams, not necessarily winning championships, you're always going to get a look in this league. Scoring more points is, it's the wave of the future. That's to me, that's what the NBA looks at and goes, well, that's how we get butts in the seats. We gotta produce more 140 to 135 games.
Do you know how old Mike D'Antoni is?
He's probably 70.
71.
Yeah.
He's 71 years old. I don't think that's the right call. Call me skeptical.
But really, I mean, as a Charlotte Hornets fan, guys, who's shocked? Who's shocked that this would be the way that this goes down? You got Mitch Kupchak and Michael Jordan, who maybe we've been too tough on them for some of the decisions that have been made since they became a team running this franchise. But is anybody shocked that they're, that they would go after the Flash?
Well, what's funny
Mike
is
D'Antoni?
the two finalists are pillar to post different. Mike D'Antoni's the name, and he'll bring the offense, and that'll be whatever. Kenny Atkinson's the guy you should be hiring, and I've been saying this for a long time. He got, let's say, a little bit of a raw deal with Brooklyn. Really good at developing players. To me, it's a perfect fit and has been since the minute that job opened.
I agree. And when I heard news yesterday that there was another coaching name coming on the scene, I thought, well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what Charlotte's been holding out for.
Oh, that's not going to happen. I already know where you're headed, and that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I mean, I wish it would. Right? Would that not be a better choice?
A lot of people are wishing that there are several teams that are probably sitting by their current coach feels a little unsettled because now there's a name on the market that we didn't expect until the last few days.
The NBA now has its Sean Payton hanging out there for all the coaches who are on the hot seat for next year. No, you don't see the comparison there?
Well, I mean, they both look a little deranged.
Pretty damn good coach.
I mean, depending on what time you catch them, they both look a little disheveled.
Mike D'Antoni and Kenny Atkinson, those are the two finalists for the Charlotte Hornets job, we're being told. Like I said, D'Antoni meeting with Michael Jordan and the rest of the brass today. Kenny Atkinson will be having his final interview tomorrow, and I am 180% on the side of Kenny Atkinson getting this job. Mike D'Antoni, it's fun to watch, but was he ever won? He had those
and he's had good teams,
right?
Too.
He had those great teams in Phoenix that scored 1 billion points but never could do anything in the playoffs. Wait, he had all of those teams in Houston that scored 1 billion points and never did anything in the playoffs. He had the great team. Well, I mean, it was an assistant for what was supposed to be a great team in Brooklyn that never did anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, you see a trend?
Yeah.
It's a nice little trend of, man, we can win a lot of regular season games. And then you go to the playoffs and get smoked.
It has to come down to what the Charlotte Hornets are looking for. Are you looking to just put butts in the seats and entertain, or are you looking to actually win championships? The decision is going to come soon from the front office there at the Spectrum Center. Oh, it's about that time, Jeremy. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, we have another one. We've been saying for days, watching the Deshaun Watson situation of, I don't know where this goes. Like, I've always been on the, 4 games. That's where the suspension talk starts. And then there was the HBO TV show. And then there was another accuser. And now there's a 24th accuser, another civil lawsuit filed against Deshaun Watson. And this one came after, well, probably one of the biggest missteps by Rusty Hardin.
Rusty Hardin is a moron.
The lawyer for Deshaun Watson. He went on a radio show on Friday.
Of which, first of all, I'm not a lawyer. I say that a lot. Let me give you a solid piece of advice. Mm-hmm. When you're going through active litigation, going on a radio show, probably not a great idea.
Probably not. He went on Sports Radio 610 in Houston, and where he started with the defense of happy endings during massages are not illegal.
I heard that and went, Did I hear what you just said correctly? Because that seems like a gross error in judgment.
Now, look, the only way it becomes illegal is if you pay extra. So you've already decided, okay, this massage session is going to be $250 or whatever the thing is. Now, The happy ending, if it's consensual at the end and doesn't cost more money, not illegal, according to Rusty Hardin. If you paid extra, if there was a surcharge on the end of it, then I guess that's the point, it becomes illegal.
My question is, why did you feel the urge to say any of this?
I have no clue what was going through Rusty Hardin's mind, but after that came out, there was another lawsuit filed, and they immediately went to and Tony Busby, the other lawyer in this case for the 24 plaintiffs in the cases, says Rusty Hardin probably just cost Deshaun Watson the entire case. Now, I don't know that to be true, but this is pretty damning because it's something that you can, as a lawyer, take into the courtroom and say, see, they think that all masseuses do this, and that's patently false, and then it goes from there. It's a bad look.
I'm not going to go that far as you have lost the case. I will say that is one of the most absolutely asinine, idiotic things I've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth.
No doubt.
And in 2022, that's saying something.
It is. It is saying something. Shut up, Rusty. Shut up.
Yeah, I will guarantee you they had a legal strategery meeting, and Deshaun Watson said, you're not allowed to talk anymore.
Right.
You see a microphone, you don't speak.
Right.
I have two just a bit outside stories.
Oh, okay.
One that's very short because I don't have a lot to add to this. It's just one of the most mind-boggling things I've ever seen. College baseball, the tournament is happening right now. Well, there was a game yesterday between the Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Missouri State Bears. Missouri State was up 12. 12-0 in the third inning. You know what the final score of that game was?
No clue.
29-15, Oklahoma State.
Holy smokes.
They were down 12 and won by 14.
That's impressive.
That's hard to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, we all made a big deal about the Boston Celtics being down 12 and winning by 12 in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That, my friends, in baseball is a hell of a turnaround.
They had 6 players with 3 hits or more. Mind-boggling.
Pitching.
Another mind-boggling story. Do you know the name Mike Hollis?
Sounds familiar.
I knew it, but I didn't remember why I knew it.
Sounds familiar.
He was the first kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
In 1996. He just became the second oldest professional football player ever because at 7-11 on Friday night, he kicked for the Jacksonville Sharks of the National Arena League.
Mm-hmm.
He is 50 years old.
I mean, once you have the leg, I guess the leg stays around for a while.
My question would be why? How do you're just sitting at home reading your AARP magazine because he actually qualifies for that.
Right.
Well, you know what I want to do? I want to go kick in an Arena League game.
Why not? Still got that competitive itch. You know, you're not going anywhere near a legitimate professional football field.
He also had to he did have a tackle in this game on somebody that was literally young enough to be his son. He's 50. The guy tackled is 23 years old.
Nice. Good for him.
Why?
I'm just saying, the older I get, the more I go, you know what? Anybody who can still lace them up with 20-year-olds, go for it. I don't care if you're the kicker or not.
He did say he was very sore after this game. That I forgot, and I might have underestimated how much goes into this.
Mac Hollis. Back in professional football. Ain't it grand? The coach I was talking about before, just a bit outside, was Quin Snyder. Quin Snyder has resigned from the Utah Jazz, saying that, look, I've been here 8 years. We haven't been able to break through the second round of the playoffs. It's time for a new voice. I got to respect that. Is there underlying here, though? Is this Quin Snyder being booted out the door? Is this more contentious than we're being led on to believe?
No. This was not him being booted out the door. This was him looking around going, I smell fire. Why is there smoke emanating through this entire building? Oh, because my 2 star players hate each other?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
The Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell relationship has been quite rocky.
That's putting it nicely.
That is. But they've been stuck together for a while. And now the Utah Jazz, did you think that this would be the first he would be the first domino to fall. I thought for sure they would split up the two.
No, I look at Quin Snyder and just go, why would you continue to do this? He can now take a year off, and he will be a very sought coach a year from now. Pretty much can write his own ticket because the NBA, more so than any other sport, they'll fire a coach just for the shot at a coach that's sitting out there.
Yes.
How many NBA coaches of the year have we seen fired within the same calendar year?
Quite a few. Dwayne Casey was the last one.
Dwayne Casey was the worst one because he got fired the day they announced it.
He did.
You win Coach of the Year and fired. But it's gotten incredibly contentious. And this has been happening since, I go all the way back to the beginning of coronavirus. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, Rudy Gobert basically, how would you say that?
He became the poster child of the coronavirus.
Well, he started licking microphones and weird, just being weird. Then he was subject zero.
Right. But remember at the time we all thought it was a joke. We were on this show talking about the proposals from the group out in California that was like, we need to cancel the NCAA tournament. This is crazy. We're like, this is never going to happen. And then Rudy Gobert, he's right on he's right with everybody else, and he's making jokes and licking microphones, and then it was him that caused the NBA to freak and shut down.
He was the original patient zero, and apparently Donovan Mitchell's just never gotten over it. It started there, and it snowballed.
Right.
And now you come to a point of, for me, this is easy. If it's between Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, I wouldn't think about this for 5 seconds.
No.
Who wants Rudy?
Exactly. I always thought he would be the first domino to fall. The Utah Jazz would ship him out of town, and Quin Snyder resigning, though, I really didn't see that coming.
I had started hearing this at the end of last week.
Mm-hmm.
Of he's considering his future, doesn't know that he wants to be here. And as soon as I saw that, I went, this is worse than I'm being told it is. This whole situation is worse than one would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he just got out of Dodge. He's 55 years old. He's got another act coming here. And he didn't want to be tied to this. Right. And I don't blame him. Because I'm not actually sure what you could get for Rudy Gobert outside of one team that makes all the sense in the world. And it's the team that's closest to here.
The Charlotte Hornets.
If I'm Charlotte, I would go with them with whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. If it starts with LaMelo, we're done talking.
Yes. But other than that.
But a nice little package of Kelly Oubre and a couple other draft picks and things like that, all in.
P.J. Washington.
I don't know if I'm getting that deep. I don't think you have to.
Okay.
I've heard 2 teams attached to Rudy Gobert. One of them's Charlotte. The other one's the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
And Phoenix does not want to pay they don't want to pay big boy money to a center. If they were going to do it, they just do it with DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
So I don't know that that's a solution. And I think that's what Quin Snyder saw is look at who's getting jobs. Look at who's being talked about replacing him. Have you seen this list?
No.
I'll bet you don't know who half of them are. The biggest name on the list by a mile is Terry Stotts.
Yeah.
Or Frank Vogel.
Adrian Griffin, I've heard his name.
And don't ask me why, but he won't get this job. He should.
Mm-hmm.
He won't.
This
will be Frank Vogel or Terry Stotts. I don't know which one it'll be. It will be one of the two.
Terry Stotts. He's mine. He's my one that's like, he should have a job. He should have a job somewhere. Anybody who can win in Portland, and I get that he had Dame Lillard, but still, anybody who can win in Portland, I think deserves a shot anywhere else.
And, of course, this starts the dum-dum talk. You knew it was going to happen. As soon as Quin Snyder stepped down, you knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, what?
Donovan Mitchell's going to wind up a New York Knick.
Oh, my God.
It's
Really?
been on every show all day long.
Really?
Should they give up R.J. Barrett? Yes. They should give up R.J. Barrett, Spike Lee, Madison Square Garden, and 5 EPs of James Dolan if that's what you need to get Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Here's the problem. Much like that date with Eva Longoria I reference quite often, not going to be offered to you. You can want whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the ability.
No. Donovan Mitchell is is a centerpiece that Utah cannot get rid of.
No.
They were always going to choose Rudy Gobert or choose to get rid of Rudy Gobert over Donovan Mitchell. If it came down to it, he had a problem with Quin Snyder, they would have booted Quin Snyder out to keep Donovan Mitchell happy.
I don't know that you're right about that.
Really?
This is not inside baseball information. This is just things I've heard. Apparently, Donovan Mitchell's not the easiest person to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some merit to they may actually decide to ship Donovan Mitchell out. I can't wrap my brain around that.
It
doesn't make any sense to
mistake.
me. Well, you would get a haul.
Of course you'd get a haul.
You would get a franchise-altering amount for Donovan Mitchell.
But to me, he's a player that once you have him in the building, you don't let him go.
I would agree with that solely because it's Utah.
Yeah.
He strikes me as an Allen Iverson type of player. You're great, and you score at will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you're ever going to be the best player on a title team. If it was one of the bigger market teams, absolutely. If he played for the Lakers, move him.
Yeah.
You can replace him.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, not so much.
Right.
You've had 3 major players in your franchise's history, and 2 of them were in the 80s. So I would say he's probably going to win any of these contentious arguments.
Mm-hmm. But the latest report is that he's not happy because Quin Snyder's gone. He liked Quin Snyder. Quin Snyder was part of the reason that he agreed to do the Supermax deal and to stick around.
The exact phrasing was he is unsettled, unnerved, and wondering what it means for the franchise's future.
Yes.
And here's what it means. The building's on fire. It's on fire. And if you want to force your way out, this is the time to do it. Because you, Mike Conley, and Rudy Gobert are not winning squat. You're just not.
Yeah.
So Quin Snyder gets out because he knows a year from now, let's say, and I'm just going to use a hypothetical. Let's say things don't go exactly the way you want it to in Denver. First call.
Mm-hmm.
First call. They would boot Mike Malone in a heartbeat.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. For Quin Snyder, no doubt. And I could say that about 5 other high-level competitive teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you get out. This is what people with options do. You get out while the getting's good.
Right. So now, I mean, I see these 2 cases very similarly. The NFL with Sean Payton, he's going to be able to choose where he wants to go if he wants to come back and coach next year. Quin Snyder, same thing in the NBA. And if I were Michael Jordan, I would offer him the moon to come be my coach now.
And he's not going to take it. He's not going to take it.
I don't know about that.
I do. If there was any shot of that, you would not be talking to Mike D'Antoni right now. He wants to take a year off.
Mm-hmm.
From everything I've been I'm not saying I'm not saying I played golf with the guy this morning.
Right.
This is just the reports that have come out.
He just had hip surgery, and so he's recovering from that. He said he wanted to take some time to evaluate his life and his career and all of that. But I don't know if that means just for a few weeks, for a couple months, or if that means he wants to take a year off. I didn't necessarily come away with the feeling that Quin Snyder wants to take a year off. And if he doesn't, please tell me, Michael, you've made that phone call.
I mean, of course you have, and it went nowhere. He knows. Why would you step away at this point? Just think about the methodology of when you step away. It's come in the last 3 weeks. If it hadn't, you would have done it at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a peculiar time to do this. It all happened, and I think he's just tapped. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this. These 2 have been fighting all year long. I don't want to do this anymore.
I mean, it comes to a point where you just don't know what to do. You've tried every avenue possible, and you just don't know how you're going to get this team to win. Utah currently has the longest streak of making the playoffs.
Which is comical.
6 seasons in a row. They've never been able to get out of the second round. Never been able to get past the conference semifinals. That's a problem. And I got to I tip my cap to Quin Snyder for saying, I just don't know how to do it with this group.
And I don't think anybody could.
No.
It's a flawed roster construction. But it's what happens in these small markets.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at this and just remember the story we talked about last week of the NBA wants to expand 2 more teams. No. No.
No.
If anything, contract 8 of them.
Right. Right.
We do not need the Sacramento Kings. Okay? I know that's always the punching bag I throw in right there.
It's not what they want to hear, obviously. It's not what anybody wants to hear when you have a business of saying, give us less. See, our fans demand more of us, and we try to do as much as possible. But when people start saying, I think I could do with less of your product, that's when you know you have a problem. It's what we've talked about this entire hour of the NBA has an issue where people don't want to watch their finals because they're too long. Teams give up in the middle of games. They don't want to watch the regular season because there's 82 games and, half of those games don't even really matter because your stars are sitting out because they're afraid to get hurt. I think there's a lot to do with, Richard Jefferson saying we're coddling these players. Well, okay. I don't think it's about the players. It's about the fans. You can't get fans interested in a long-haul season anymore. Maybe it's time. Contract some teams, shorten the season, then maybe the NBA has a more consumable product. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
On Sunday, June 12th, get set for a brand new race, the Rad Half Marathon and 10K. Both races start in downtown Asheville at Pack Square, run through city parks where there'll be live music, across the French Broad River, through the woods, and finishing up in the River Arts District. Plus, you'll get a cool shirt, free goodies, and an awesome finisher medal. Part of the proceeds benefit the Asheville Humane Society and the iDream Athletes Foundation. For more information and to get signed up, visit idaph.net, idaph.net. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
New message. Hey, man, it's Devin. From that time you accidentally emailed me because you thought I was a different Devin. Oh, and your email signature said confidential. If you received this in error, please delete. That's so you. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat. When are we setting sail, Captain?
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Oh, and no, you did not receive this message in error.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Rolling Rolls, yeah. Goes last long, it's TP goes, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rolls in one, lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hey everyone, I'm CJ Toledano.
And I'm Alex Wong. If you want a podcast about the NBA and everything that's taking place off the court, I'm talking about fashion, I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about favorite post-game quotes, we've got you.
You know we're talking about starter jackets, Alex.
Yeah, I know, and you're going to remind me about the Charlotte Hornets one that my parents never bought me.
Ooh, I'm sorry about that.
Anyways, check out Running the Break with CJ and Alex on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If baby could talk, she'd say a lot. You'd know what she's thinking and what makes her happy. But unfortunately, baby can't talk or remind you You're the one taking her to daycare today, and she won't speak up if you drive straight to work like any other day and never think to look in the backseat. Every year, dozens of kids die from heat stroke in cars. No one is perfect, so set a reminder and always look before you lock. Where's Baby? Paid for by NHTSA.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
All right, normally we would do green on green here, but you got nothing to gamble on.
Well, I mean, you can take Colorado because why wouldn't you? They're going to sweep out their series tonight and then just sit around and twiddle their thumbs and wait on the winner of the Lightning and the Rangers.
Right. But we do have some golf to talk about because new news coming down. 6-time major champion Phil Mickelson going to return to golf. It's not going to be the PGA, though.
Nope.
He is going to go play in the first Saudi-backed LIV event beginning Thursday in London. So Phil Mickelson has now been added to the list of golfers that are going to compete in this. Dustin Johnson among them, Sergio Garcia, Louis Oosthuizen. Saw over the weekend Kevin Na had also decided that he is now going to go to the LIV events.
Well, he didn't. That was already known. He resigned his tour membership.
Oh, yeah.
That's saying a lot. And I'm telling people have thought that I have been overblowing this. Mm-hmm. Not even a little bit. This is a disaster for the PGA Tour.
How do you see this from Phil's perspective, though? I mean, is this just Phil waiting until the time was right? Or was he waiting for somebody else to back him before he made this move? Was he waiting for the Dustin Johnson news to drop before he was willing to make the full commitment?
Well, he was committed. I told you this as soon as the list came out. Phil's going to be added to this. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about that. Now, did he maybe want to see how many – did he go Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
Who's coming with me? Maybe.
I think he did. I think that's part of it.
But now it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. And I'll tell you where you're going to find out just how big of a problem it is. When's the U.S. Open?
June 20-something?
It starts next Thursday.
Oh, it starts next week.
So these guys are going to play in this tournament and then fly to the U.S. Open, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. PGA Tour of America has no control over the U.S. Open.
Right.
That's the USGA. And they haven't threatened any kind of sanction because they don't care.
Now, could they, though?
No.
Could the PGA get in bed with the USGA?
They always have been. They never will be. I don't even, for the lay golf fan, I don't really have a good way. I don't even have a good comparison for this. The USGA is the big bad wolf. They're the one that they're not playing your game. Mm-hmm. We will get the best players in the world playing in our events, period. Don't care about the PGA. Don't care. I don't care about any of that. They will be here. They will be playing. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, then we're going to have a problem.
Okay.
So, I mean, the circus that will be next week, this is what I live for. I live for drama like this. And it will be the entire week.
Right.
Jim Nantz, I will bet you this is brought up no less than 50 times over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm not even including Thursday and Friday. That'll be 70% of the coverage. Mm-hmm. When you get to the weekend, and please let Dustin Johnson be in contention.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ask for much, okay? I'm a simple man of simple millions. But that would be hilarious to me.
Could you imagine the nightmare scenario, though, for the PGA? If Dustin Johnson and Louis Oosthuizen have some battle for the championship.
Oh, it'd be tremendous.
The U.S. Open at the end.
Oh, that's not a worst case. And see, to me, I think that's what it'll take for the PGA to go, oh, this is not bad for us. You mean we're getting free publicity on somebody else's wallet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is not the terrible thing we thought it was. What will that rating be? If you have Dustin Johnson in the top, let's say he's even in the top 10, playing the last 3 groups on Sunday.
Of the LIV event?
No. Of the U.S. Open.
Of the U.S. Open.
It will be insane.
Sure.
Because you'll be looking at all these PGA Tour officials that hate him and want to do all of these things. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And you can do absolutely nothing.
I could just imagine already Dustin Johnson coming down the final couple of holes. Patrick Monahan needs to be nowhere to be found. Because if he is, it's going to be one of those things where they're going to flip to his face every time he has a shot.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Guess you should have just let it happen, shouldn't you?
Probably so. So they're going to backpedal from all of this.
They're not going to have a choice.
You think?
They're not going to have a choice. Because here's what's going to happen. The first event is this weekend. You will see not a star-studded field, but a good field.
Mm-hmm.
It will get a number. Somebody's going to make just a buku of money to fly to London and do this. And every other player on tour is going to go, why am I not doing this? Not saying it's going to be the Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroys of the world. That next tier, they're all going to be sitting there looking at this going, why am I not doing this? Kevin Na was 34th in the world. I believe that's the number. It was 30-something.
Something like that.
Every player in that range is going to go, what did I miss?
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll talk some storylines for NFL camps coming up after the SportsCenter update.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Tuesday and Wednesday for us, and kind of a soggy forecast here into the midweek. Could see some half-inch plus downpours here, kind of a wet weather pattern this week. A front approaches Asheville for Tuesday and Wednesday from the west. 62 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Scattered storms Tuesday, 79. And then more showers, thunderstorms Wednesday, and a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
Tyson Furniture has a fantastic selection of quality furniture, honest values, and great service. We deliver weekly to Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Ready to do this.
Get ready. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
This festival is insane to bring all these different types of music together.
Can you believe all the artists performing?
The best fans in the world with the biggest stars from all walks of music under one roof.
Be here as our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival lineup is revealed. Tomorrow morning at 8.
Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 7/2. Visit staples.com/thisisyoursign for details. This is your sign to print big at Staples.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The civil lawsuit against Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, alleging inappropriate sexual conduct. Watson has denied all wrongdoing. Avalanche go for the sweep of the Oilers in Game 4 of the NHL's West Final tonight. A win would put Colorado in the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in 21 years. Forward Draymond Greene believes he and the Warriors are heading to Boston for Game 3 of the NBA Finals in a great mental space and with the confidence they know what it takes to win on the road. Greene said he sent Golden State a message, gave the team an attitude adjustment before the Game 2 series-tying win. He is the Warriors' most important player, believes former NBA player Antonio Daniels.
They go as Draymond Green goes. When Draymond Green is active and he's aggressive on both sides of the floor, he sets the physical tone with his Golden State Warriors basketball team, completely different basketball team.
Antonio Daniels on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Game 3 Wednesday, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 9 Eastern, ABC. At his end-of-season press conference today, 77-year-old Heat President Pat Riley made it clear he has no plans to retire anytime soon.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And, of course, we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You can get in on the chat with us each and every day. We always find time to talk about America's favorite sport.
Oh, yeah, and now you're going to get all the football you could possibly want. If you follow us on the social medias, we just put out the new schedule. We've got all the things happening. Starting next week, we will have mock draft Mondays, fantasy drafts, if you're so predilected to fantasy football things.
Mm-hmm.
First episode of Mullet Man and the Canadan comes out this afternoon after this here show.
Which I can't wait for, personally.
It has all the bells and whistles. Yeah. There's a lot of fire. It's like a Kevin Hart show. It's just fire everywhere.
Jeremy loves the fire.
Well, I've always wanted to do that, but see, here's the thing. We stream this show live, and, I mean, we have nice computer equipment, but the fire things are not really streamable. They tend to shut computers down. So these are not live. They're recorded. There's just fire everywhere, just randomly.
Right. So look forward to that coming up after the after this hour of the program immediately on the YouTube channel. The Mullet Man and the Canadan talking quarterbacks and tight ends for fantasy football in this 2022 off season. And the questions still abound about every team in the NFL. What are going to be the things to watch going into training camps? Training camps will begin in about, a month and a half?
Well, mandatory camp starts this week for 11 teams.
Okay.
Miami had theirs last week. Sorry, you did your camp by yourself, so you didn't get special things. We can talk about Miami.
Right. You got mandatory camps, actual training camps, though. I think the first day is like July 21st when the Hall of Fame game participants can open their camps. So we're coming close.
It's getting so close.
Yeah, it's getting so close, and I'm doing. I find myself in my downtime just doing more and more mock drafts, trying to prepare for the season.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of. This will be the most dialed in I've ever been for fantasy football because I'm getting to a point where I hate every other sport.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that will lessen. Next year, the NBA, yay, good. My team's alive again.
You'll get excited about it at the beginning of the season, and then when it doesn't go your way, you'll go back into football depression mode.
I don't know that it'll be depression because, my team's greatly improved.
Yeah, but you're still you'll be yearning. See, that's the thing. Year to year, you have some of the same questions. Like I went through, and when Jeremy said he wanted to talk about camp storylines, I pulled up an article from last year about the 10 stories to watch in training camp.
Ooh, let me guess. Is one of them, can Tom Brady keep doing this at age 405?
That was one of them.
Aaron Rodgers' contract situation with the Green Bay Packers.
Yep, that was one.
Well, we're 2 for 2 of storylines that you were talking about again this year.
The number one story was the New Orleans Saints quarterback battle. Yeah, we're kind of talking about that again. Jameis Winston.
Really. Oh, Jameis has a limp. The Canadan and I do discuss that.
Right.
And you will get to hear all the derision of, I don't care.
The comeback kids. Who's going to make the big the big comeback this year? And guess who's the first person mentioned? Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to be able to stay healthy this year? And guess what? It's the same thing we're talking about with the Carolina Panthers this year. It's just a lot of the same old stuff. But we've got so many faces in new places this year that there are a lot of storylines that make you go, is this the move that's going to get us over the hump?
Well, you do have to look at the two that I mentioned there off the jump, because that's two of the teams that are starting they're having their mandatory OTAs this week.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay, Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something, and I know you're not going to like it,
okay,
but I've thought about it a lot.
All right.
If those two teams were in the AFC, would they even make the playoffs?
It'd be close.
You say I was
It'd be close.
I thought you were about to completely just give me the air of derision.
No.
Tampa, I would say, does. I'm not so sure Green Bay would.
Mm-hmm. It'd depend on the division that they wound up in. Like if you just switched directional divisions and you went Green Bay goes from the NFC North to the AFC North, the third best team in that division.
At best.
At best. You go NFC South to AFC South, I still feel like Tampa Bay would be a hair behind the Indianapolis Colts, but not by much.
I don't know that I agree with that. I
don't know. I mean, I feel like they would, in some people, it would be a healthy debate. How about that?
Well, and there's been a lot of healthy debate about how dialed in is Tom Brady after his comments at the match, which is just patently stupid.
As dialed in as he ever is.
The fact that Tom Brady is wearing the orange practice cami thing, he's dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that I don't know how much I like that team. I like the talent.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that Todd Bowles is your coach.
I don't either. But if he stays in his lane and lets the offense still work like it did last year, then nothing's really going to change.
One of my biggest curiosities is how, going into this upcoming season, how different does Tampa Bay look? You're not going to be as offensive as you were. There's no hope of that. You lost one of the great gunslinger coaches in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that a coach like Todd Bowles is going to be that wide open.
Right.
The question is, what does that make this look like? Do you think you're going to – I'm not sitting here saying that you're going to be a heavy run team or you're going to –
No, not a chance.
But I do think it's going to look more like that.
I don't think it'll skew all that much. The talk coming out of Tampa Bay has been that the Bruce Arians system remains, and Byron Leftwich will continue to run Bruce Arians' scheme. He'll continue to call the plays. The one thing, remember when it first happened, when Bruce Arians stepped down as the head coach, one of the things that we were talking about was the fact that Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich did not like the fact that they would set up the game plan all week long and then, here comes Bruce to throw a cog in the wheel. I don't think Todd's going to play that role. I don't think Todd will do that.
And I do.
I think Todd knows that the defense is his thing. Let Byron run the offense and Brady run the offense, essentially.
All right, so let me ask you a metaphorical question.
Okay.
In all the seasons Tom Brady's played in the NFL, how many seasons that he played 16 games has he thrown less than 500 passes?
Less than 500 passes. I have no idea.
It's 2.
Okay.
2004. And I lost it. It's there somewhere. Eventually. There we go. 2010.
Okay.
I don't see any way that this is not another one of those. He's been surfing right along that 600, 610 range with Bruce Arians.
Mm-hmm.
No way. No way. And I don't think you're even going to sniff it. I think he will be closer to 510 than 610. I did do this with Todd Bowles. I have seen this. I have bared witness to exactly what this looks like.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think that's going to be a problem. What does Tampa Bay do really well?
We Tom Brady really well.
There you go. Other than that, what do you do really well?
I mean, we defend pretty well.
You're good.
In places.
Good.
In places.
You're fine.
Right.
You're doing stuff. I just have a funny feeling that the Bruce Arians not having his hand on this offense is going to be more obvious as the season wears on.
Okay.
Because when things go sideways, who are you going to defer to? I like Byron Leftwich, and I always have.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the first time he hasn't had a backboard. He hasn't had somebody to go, what do we do now? And I don't think you're going to lead Tom to his own devices. A defensive coach, I don't think he's just going to go, well, Tom can do it.
I think there's a lot more to that than you let on, though. I mean, when you got a guy like Tom Brady, who has been in the league now for 23 years or whatever it's been, he gets a lot of leeway. He gets the ability to make his own calls. I think Byron, that is his backboard. Tom is his backboard. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, and Todd Bowles is going to come in and he's just going to be swinging his weight around.
Oh, I'm not saying he's going to swing his weight around. I just don't see. Tom's been on the high side of quarterback attempts for several years now. Mm-hmm. That's not happening again. That's not happening again. And there were plenty of games last year where you couldn't play dead in the Western defensively, and it was Tom saved you. Mm-hmm. Almost did it against the Rams.
And I think that's the only way Tom wants it.
I do too, and that's where I'm headed with this, is I see a storm brewing there, and I don't know who's going to stop it. Todd Bowles did not take this job and have no authority whatsoever. There's no way he took this job and they basically went, well, you're going to defer to Tom.
Sure.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it. There were too many teams that wanted him, and he basically shut them all down. So I don't buy that he has no control.
I don't think he has no control, but I don't think it's going to be a marked switch from the offensive scheme that we've been running for years.
Oh, I think the scheme's going to look the same. You're just going to run entirely more.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons I'm very high on playoff Lenny.
On playoff Lenny. I've seen him go, in my opinion, what is way too high in fantasy football drafts already this year, but that's just, I mean, if you're drafting Leonard Fournette in a fantasy league, where are you drafting him?
4th round?
Yeah, see, he's going in the 2nd and 3rd in
dumb.
some of these.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And people are so high on Rashad White.
Oh, that's
I don't know about that.
Don't
like,
do that.
What are you doing?
I like Rashad White and all, but
I mean, he's fine.
Don't fall for rookie running backs.
Right.
It's just a bad idea.
Right. He's fine. He's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to take over playoff Lenny's workload or anything like that.
Here's where I'm headed with this. Todd Bowles was head coach of the New York Jets for 4 years.
Okay.
In those 4 years, they finished 15th, 23rd, 25th, 22nd in passing attempts.
Mm-hmm.
His 3 years in Tampa, 9th,
mm-hmm.
2nd,
mm-hmm.
22nd.
Who are his quarterbacks, though?
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick was one of them, which was one of the greatest quarterback seasons that the New York Jets have ever had. I think it was the 3rd best season a quarterback's ever had in that team's history.
Okay. I don't feel like that's saying much, but okay.
And I'm not necessarily saying it is. For him to make I'll say a 25% uptick in what he throws,
mm-hmm.
You're still not in the top 10. You're still not in the top 10. So this is going to be I just don't understand. There's a lot of forces pulling in opposite directions here, and I don't like it. I don't like it. There's no way that they looked at Todd Bowles and said, the offense is going to be Byron, and you're just going to be over here doing stuff.
Right.
No way. The stink of that Jets job stuck to him way too aggressively,
mm-hmm.
that he's not going to have some hand in this. And it just leads me to believe there could be more contentious dealings there.
Okay.
Especially the things I heard about Bruce on the way out. It just seems divided to me.
Okay. What about Green Bay?
I like Green Bay. I'm in like with them. I'm not in love with them.
I don't think you should be until they find some weapons.
And for me, it's not even the weapons.
What is it then?
I'm fine with the weapons. I would argue that Aaron Rodgers has never had better weapons 1 to 6 than he has right now. The difference is he doesn't have Devontae Adams. Well, secret time, he didn't have Devontae Adams for several years.
True.
Didn't stop him from being phenomenal. And now they're deep. Yeah, they're young, but they're deep. What scares me is kind of the same thing I just said with Tampa Bay. The path to righteousness for Green Bay, the defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
If that defense is healthy, they will be really good. You kind of have to save Aaron from himself. He's always been a 5, 6, 7 interception a year guy.
Sure.
Always been really low. I think has the lowest interception rate of any quarterback in NFL history.
Yes.
With this many rookies that you're counting on, you won't stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
You won't. Ask me how. As a Jets fan, I think I've read this book about 10 times.
Right.
Getting ready to read it again this year. Carom balls, crocodile arms, whatever the case may be, rookie wide receivers lead to far more turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that creating look, the relationship with LaFleur and Rodgers is contentious anyway. Nobody wants to talk about that. Those two do not get along particularly well. There's been too much smoke there. And I just look at all the moving pieces and all the variants, and it's the same thing I said about Tampa Bay. This has the path to blow up. If it was any other quarterbacks, if you put anybody else in those two situations, let's say Jordan Love somehow was the quarterback in Green Bay and Jameis Winston was still the quarterback in Tampa. Mm-hmm. How many wins would you have those teams with?
7.
That's kind of my point, is that we're looking at two geriatric quarterbacks and just putting this blind faith that because they've been so good for so long, they're just going to go without missing a beat. And if they do, sweeping declaration. If either of these two win the NFC, it'll be the best season of their careers. And I don't think it'll be all that close.
Okay.
There's just a lot working against them.
There's a lot working against them, but it's because they are so great that we believe that these teams are still the top of the league. Because one's Tom Brady, the other one's Aaron Rodgers. They haven't really given us any reason to doubt them.
And my argument would be this league has never been better at quarterback than it is right now. So that advantage that you have is not as drastic as it used to be. The difference between Tom Brady and Josh Allen is not drastic.
No, but I was going to say it is in your conference, though. If you look at the two conferences, the AFC loaded up on all the quarterbacks. The NFC, hey, it's still Tom, and I mean that's part of the reason Tom came back. Let's be honest. Tom looked at the landscape and went, "Damn, the NFC just got weaker. I can win
the
another
NFC,
title."
It didn't just get weaker; it got bad.
I mean, they're easily top 2 quarterbacks in the NFC, right?
No doubt.
So,
and there's not even really a great competition for who's 3. Kirk Cousins would probably be my answer
off the top of my head.
Ugh, that's Dak Prescott's going to be one that I hammer him until November,
right?
And then I sit around and laugh at, hey, you remember that thing I said? It's weird how that worked.
It's very intriguing storylines for a couple of teams that have new quarterbacks and unsettled quarterback situations. We'll talk about those coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville, live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Tuesday and Wednesday for us, and kind of a soggy forecast here into the midweek. Could see some half-inch plus downpours here, kind of a wet weather pattern this week. A front approaches Asheville for Tuesday and Wednesday from the west. 62 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Scattered storms Tuesday, 79. And then more showers, thunderstorms Wednesday, and a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and US 1923, exit 3. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound is slow between Airport Road and the French Broad River. An accident reported on the Charlotte Highway near the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Brevard Road northbound near Avery Creek, heavy delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lee Benfield with your...
This report is sponsored by T.P. Howard Plumbing.
Hey, this is Josh Howard with T.P. Howard's Plumbing. There's nothing worse than a plumbing emergency. We need plumbers, helpers, utility foremen, laborers, and operators. Full benefits included. Call T.P. Howard's Plumbing at 628-1369. That's 628-1369. Equal opportunity employer.
You don't get to be the league's all-time leading rusher without feeling some pain.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows joint pain, and he also knows the old treatments aren't the only treatments. Today, there's a natural alternative to drugs and surgery. It's biologic therapies from QC Kinetics.
I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself.
Do you have pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, lower back? Want to get your life back? The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics can help.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain.
Don't put it off. Call QC Kinetics. Restorative regenerative solutions with no downtime and lasting results.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics,
888-333-9517.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
Back in the Ingles Studio, Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene. And, Deshaun Watson coming to Cleveland. We don't feel comfortable talking about that right now because we just don't know what's going to happen. We can't forecast anything at this point with that situation.
His lawyer keeps saying stupid things, which is still dumbfounding to me.
Russell Wilson goes to Denver. Obviously, that's going to have its pluses and minuses as well. Matt Ryan with the Indianapolis Colts.
It's another team that breaks. They go into mandatory OTAs this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a more interesting player in all of football to me this season than Matt Ryan.
Interesting how? Like you just want to know that he still got it? Is that what you're saying?
How many quarterbacks threw for more yards last year than Matt Ryan? With, by the way, Kyle Pitts and 4 dudes as his receivers.
I'd go 8.
It's 10.
Okay.
He was 11th. He's still a really good quarterback, and people seem to forget that. And I have a funny feeling that being in a more controlled environment in Indianapolis is going to help.
Controlled environment, explain what that means.
Well, Atlanta has not exactly been the most stable franchise in the last few years.
Okay.
Coaching switch, just a lot of noise since the Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think 2 years from now, they'll be fine. This year's not going to be so pretty.
Right.
And I think you're going to see exactly how much Matt Ryan made that team even vaguely competitive. They've been god-awful on defense for, I feel like, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been that long, but it feels that way. And now I look at Matt Ryan and go, you know what? You're going into a team with a really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into one of the lesser divisions in the NFL. Certainly the easiest division in the AFC, and that's not even kind of close.
Right.
That's the only division in the AFC that has 2 bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even be nice to Jacksonville and say 2 average teams. They're the only one.
Right.
And I could honestly see Matt Ryan just putting up dumb numbers. I could see him throwing for 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
For that to happen, though, I mean, this would have to be an unstoppable offense.
Well, you have Jonathan Taylor.
Going to get his.
Oh, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Jonathan Taylor is you're never going to be able to have less than 7 in the box, ever. They will kill you running the ball with him. And Matt Ryan's never had that. He's never had a running back like that in his entire career. And I think you're going to see exactly how good he still is. I love when I hear people say he's old, and then I have to point out, you do realize he's 9 years younger than Tom Brady. And
That's
2
insane
full
to
years
think
younger
about.
than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's insane to think about. But that's one of the moves of the offseason that has gotten a lot of flack that I have not understood. Of Matt Ryan's washed up. No, he's way less washed up than Phillip Rivers was when he went to the Indianapolis Colts. Way less.
I would agree with that.
And so what do you
I
think?
don't think it's really all that close.
And so what do you think's going to happen? Matt Ryan comes in, maybe, Frank Reich opens up the offense a little bit more. He's now got a very accurate quarterback that still has a lot left in the tank, one that's not hanging on to the final year of his career. Matt Ryan still has a few years left. I like the move by Indianapolis.
As do I.
And we'll see. Matty Ice will prove it to all of us. I feel no doubt about that.
That's one of those teams that I'm just heaping money on.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many shares of Indianapolis Colts stock, and I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and I'll just pull stats for this segment. Matt Ryan's been bad for the last 3 years, right? That's pretty much the narrative that Matt Ryan's been bad.
His team has been bad.
Yeah, but that's not really how that's looked at. It's looked at as Matt Ryan's been bad.
Yeah, your quarterback, you get the blame.
Do you know where he's finished in total QBR the last 3 years?
No.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Last year wasn't good. He was 21st last year.
Okay.
He was 16th and 14th other than that. On a team that had nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had Calvin Ridley. Ooh, that was good for, an hour? Before he had his little gambling kerfuffle?
Right.
I could argue Michael Pittman's the best receiver he will have played with in the last 4 full years.
Better than Calvin Ridley?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like Michael Pittman.
I could probably count on one hand the number of receivers I like better than Michael Pittman this year.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't even put him in the tier of Calvin Ridley's. To me, he's not a number one.
Did you get drunk before you came to work today? Yeah.
Michael Pittman is an A+ number one wide receiver for any NFL team.
Not for any NFL team, but I would say outside of – I have him as a top 10 receiver. And to me, there's no doubt about that.
Okay.
Big-bodied. You got to remember, this is a kid that didn't really know how to run a high-end route tree when he came to the NFL, and he's played with 2 – I'll be nice and say limited quarterbacks by the time they got to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan's the best quarterback he will have ever played with in his life by light years, and I don't care how old he is. I don't care how bad he was in Atlanta. I don't care. And you're playing with a great running game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hype about Alec Pierce. A lot. And that makes a lot of sense because they basically looked at receiver and just go, we'll figure it out.
Right.
Paris Campbell, he'll be good for a game. And they don't seem to care.
Right.
That tells me they have somebody on that roster that they feel really good about.
Austin Doolin. They're putting all their chips in the Austin Doolin basket.
I really wish any receiver that you're mispronouncing their name, I hope that's not because it's Ashton Doolin.
Or Ashton Doolin, excuse me.
That's always a bad sign. If it's real easy to mispronounce their name and everybody goes, that's about right.
Yeah, that guy.
Bad sign.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It is time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Oh, there's sad times down in Tallahassee. I want to tell you this story from 2020. Then I'm going to give you the update on the story. So the story from 2020, missing a woman hasn't been seen since September. December 1st, 2020. Story goes through, this woman disappeared in September. Family hasn't seen or heard from her. They're concerned because her bank accounts have had no transactions made on them. Nobody knows where she is. No clue. Just absolutely disappeared. They got the TV station involved. The TV station, their reporters, they went down to the house and they found a very disturbing to them scene where They show up. She's been gone for 3 months. They look. There's packages piling up on the porch, and one of the doors is left ajar, but no sign of anybody to be found. Okay, let's fast forward to last week. Body found at home of Tallahassee woman missing since 2020. Her body was found last week in her own home. Now, the question is, it was 3 months that she had been missing when the story was done in 2020. So police had been investigating. Obviously.
Nobody felt the urge to go in the house.
Right. So this woman's body was found in her own home, and the body was, quote, so badly decomposed that it would have to be sent to a crime lab to identify the remains through DNA analysis. Who didn't check her house? Why did they not? How does this happen?
George had one job. Come on, George.
How does this happen? I mean, this poor woman, Avis Anderson, 58 years old, has apparently been dead in her own home for 2 years. Meanwhile, no one figured it out, despite the fact that one of her doors was open at some point. They went through the entire process of the city condemning the house, listing it as vacant. It went through all the repossession stuff. They were cleaning it out to sell it at auction, and that's when the body was found. I don't know how that happened, but that seems like it needs to be a months-long investigation by Internal Affairs or the Accreditation Board or somebody, how the police did not find this woman in her own home after 2 years. Insanity.
Zoe Sadler's parents have gone through a very common problem with children. She's a very picky eater. She would only eat Walker's potato chips on buttered white bread.
Okay.
That's all she'll eat.
Seems weird, but okay.
Wakes up in the morning, has dry cereal, then eats potato chip sandwiches for lunch and dinner.
Butter and tater sandwiches. Okay.
And now here's the weird part of that. Zoe Sadler's 25 years old.
Uh-huh.
For 23 years, she has eaten nothing but potato chip sandwiches, lunch and dinner, every meal. And apparently she got tired of it. She was diagnosed with MS a couple years ago, and apparently that made her want to reinvestigate her health choices and things like that.
Okay.
So she took a bit of a drastic step. She was hypnotized.
Mm-hmm.
And now she can eat all the foods just randomly. One little follow the watch, and now I like stuff.
Yeah. That seems awesome.
The biggest part of her excitement was now I can eat an actual real meal at my wedding, which is apparently a month from now.
Ah.
I'm going to ask a question, and you may not like the question. It's just a question that I have. And maybe it's because I got into my 30s and I had made some, we'll call them poor decisions in my personal life. How hard of a sell is that when somebody says, I only eat potato chip sandwiches? You got a month away from the wedding and you were still in? This man loves you a lot. Because for me, I only eat one thing. Oh my. I feel like that's a red flag.
I don't see that as a red flag. I see
and
that
that's coming
as
from a guy
easy
that
to
eats,
please.
That comes from a guy that eats chicken nuggets all the time. I'm a middle-aged man that my number one favorite food is pizza.
To me, that says she's easy to please. I don't have to go through a lot of hoops and trials and tribulations. I know what's for supper tonight. Tater chip sandwiches.
I hadn't thought of it that way. If I had all the time that HWA and I disagree about what we're going to have for dinner,
right?
I think I could build an airplane.
Right. Every guy in a relationship is tired of having the conversation of where you want to go eat.
How long?
The answer for her is nowhere because nobody serves tater chip sandwiches.
How long does that conversation usually last in your house?
Oh, it can vary. It varies anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours.
It started for me today at 8:15 this morning.
It's still not concluded.
It is 4:35 Eastern Standard Time, and I don't think we've gotten any closer to a decision than we were this morning.
Yeah. My wife absolutely hates getting in these conversations with me because I have one steadfast rule.
I don't care.
Exactly. I don't care. You obviously care where we eat, so you get to pick. But I'm tired of picking all the time. But you're the only one that cares.
Yeah, see, I can't say that. She'll throw out
you're
places.
On the other side.
Well, she'll throw out places. I just go, no. That just, it doesn't. I want something to jump out at me.
Yeah.
And very rarely does that ever happen.
See, I could say, hey, where do you want to go eat? And my wife will say, Vinny's Italian. It's one of our favorite restaurants. In. Don't care.
I do like that place.
If I asked her, hey, where do you want to go eat? And she said, McDonald's. In. Let's go to McDonald's. But if she asked me, where do you want to go eat? I always answer with the first thing, Long John's. She hates Long John Silver's so much. And that's when I don't care where we go eat.
I have a rule. All right. And you may call me a picky child for this rule. It's my rule.
Yeah.
And it's ironic you said that because this just came up with HWA and I over the weekend.
Okay.
Shrimp.
Okay.
I love shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love frozen shrimp. I want the shrimp to have been able to comfortably be transported to where they're being made with no added things.
Okay, so you never
I
eat
don't
shrimp.
need a flash fried or flash frozen scrump that it was last alive in like the Obama administration.
Right.
I don't want that. I want good shrimp that just came out of the ocean like, I don't know, yesterday.
Okay.
And a fish stick? Oh. I would eat my hat before I would eat a fish stick, and I mean that to the highest degree.
Still can't wait for the torture tickets to start up in football season because that's going to be the first one.
I'll just go ahead and tell you. I will actually, there will be a reversal of fortune on camera.
I am going to introduce you to the one man you can always trust.
The Morton's Fisherman?
The Gorton's Fisherman.
It should tell you how much I know because I didn't even get his name right. Oh.
They're not that bad.
I don't understand how anybody eats that.
They're just not that bad.
I
get it. Fresh is always better.
Now, literally, I could eat Chipotle every day of my life.
But I will be honest with you. You put a shrimp in front of me, it's not going to see life much longer. I don't care if it's frozen. I don't care if it just came out of the water. I don't care.
But you lived by the beach.
I did. And those were the best shrimp I ever had. But even when I live in the mountains of western North Carolina, if I can't get fresh shrimp, who cares? They're still shrimp. Still taste wonderful. Still the best ever.
No.
Oh, I don't know, man. It depends on where you go. Mentioned Vinny's earlier. Me and my wife went to Vinny's a couple of weeks ago, and they have some of the best shrimp scampi I've ever had.
Now, I will say, this is how unaverse I am to, food conditions. I have bought seafood off of a truck that did not necessarily have the greatest air conditioning that I've ever seen, but it was in the ocean the day before.
You know this for a fact, or is that what they told you?
Well, I'm going to try to say this in the least grotesque way possible. In the way that it was kept, if it had not been in the ocean the day before, I would be dead right now.
It would have been a funky color.
Oh, yeah. Seafood's one of those things you don't really have to ask a lot of questions.
True.
You just
wait, was this the guy that was up on the parkway every now and then?
No.
In his truck selling shrimp?
Maybe. I don't ever take the parkway. I have bad parkway luck.
Yeah.
Every time I get on the parkway, I somehow find a way to be behind the person that they're just out investigating tree branches or leaves or whatever they're after. And they're going about 7.
See, you're too trusting. To me, that's a warning sign. If I'm traveling down a road in western North Carolina and I see somebody in a beat-up pickup truck with a big sign that says fresh shrimp, nope, I'm going to say you're lying.
Well, no. All I have to do is lift the lid on the cooler.
I got to do it. I'm not even going to stop. I'm not even giving you the time of the day because I'm going to say that's a lie.
And this is like the SAT. There's not really a lot of ways for you to cheat here. Because if you are, I'm going to know it pretty quick.
Right. Just can't imagine buying seafood off the back of a truck.
100%.
Just a random truck somewhere.
And is it still cold? Good enough for me.
NFL training camps, mandatory OTAs. 11 teams start up this week, correct?
Correct. The ones we have not talked about so far, the Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Rams, Las Vegas Raiders, Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
And a few of those teams are bad. But
New York Giants.
The Giants are bad.
Seattle Seahawks.
They're bad. But I don't think Detroit is.
I mean, they're still bad.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, they are.
And I'll be honest with you, if you didn't hear this earlier, after this show, we will be debuting Mullet Man and the Canada, and one of the players we talked about was Jared Goff.
Okay.
And the further we've gone down this rabbit hole, the more I look at Detroit,
you're buying into it,
that
aren't you?
offense is going to be good.
You're buying into it.
If that defense could play dead in a Western, they're going to win 6 games.
Maybe so, but that still makes you bad. They could be the best 7-win team in the history of the NFL. They're still bad.
Well, I mean, they're currently projected to win 4.5 games. So
right.
I look at this from the Vegas side. What does Vegas think of you? They have you at 4.5 wins. Well, you're going to blow that out of the water. Can I tell you who they're going to be? Nope. Don't have to. I just have to tell you that is better than a 5-12 football team.
Right. Are they a team that is god awful with no hope? Absolutely not. We're not saying that about the Lions, or I'm not saying that about the Lions. I'm saying they're still going to be bad. Record-wise, they'll still be bad. There'll be good things to be had, though. Yes, Jared Goff with the weapons that they have, and Jameis Williams coming back at mid-season point. By the end of the season, this could be one of the teams that you wish you had a share of in fantasy football.
Jared Goff's still the third best quarterback in this division.
Yeah.
He's better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I just really wanted an opportunity. I just wanted a reason to take a shot at Justin Fields there.
As you should. The Minnesota Vikings stay in the division.
Minnesota's weird.
Okay. Why are they weird?
There's been a lot of noise, and there have been a ton of players that have just felt the urge to kill Mike Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes me think they're going to be better than I think they are.
They could be playing with a little bit of that. Our coach was holding us back. Well, now we have an offensive coach who everybody thinks is a genius.
Well, and they just had another player come out over the weekend and hammer Mike Zimmer. And I would tell you what he said, but there's really no way to clean that up. So we're just going to move past it and say he was not a fan of the previous regime.
Okay.
And everything's lighter now. And I look at Minnesota and go, if you're even decent defensively, just decent. You don't have to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Passable.
You're a playoff team.
You're a playoff team.
Yeah.
You're a playoff team, no doubt.
Now, how much further can you go with that? Because you have a rookie head coach, which we know can get you into trouble.
Well, and he's a Sean McVay disciple, so those seem to work out reasonably well. Speaking of that, did you see the video of Sean McVay's wedding over the weekend?
No.
He married, I cannot remember his now wife's name.
The one
Miss
that Jared
McVay.
Goff was
yes,
after.
That's odd that we mentioned that right beside Jared Goff. He was singing California Love on stage with the wedding band.
That's beautiful.
I don't think I've ever loved a coach as much. I say you're watching that entire video going, I want to play for that guy.
Right. Minnesota Vikings have a lot of great skill players, obviously, and they're going to be a damn good team.
Irv Smith.
I hope so.
Irv Smith.
He has been it's time for Irv Smith to break out now for 2 seasons. And this is the last one. This is the last season that I'm going to be a believer.
For as much as you and I believe in him, the Canadian laps us 2 times.
Oh, David Smith of Armchair Commentary. Yeah. Absolutely in love with Irv Smith this year.
I don't want to give this away. Okay. You're going to have to watch after this show on the YouTube channel.
All right, quarterbacks and tight end.
Insane how drunk in love on Irv Smith he is.
Quarterback and tight end fantasy talk coming up with the Mullet Man and the Canada Dan on the YouTube stream immediately following this here program.
Lots of fire.
Yeah.
All the fire.
Yeah. We know the Giants are going to be bad. What's your plus for the Giants? What's your storyline for the Giants?
I think the offense will improve the entire year. I really believe in Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll. The problem is that I don't believe in Daniel Jones at all.
Exactly.
I don't believe in him at all.
Seattle Seahawks.
Let's see. Let me say something nice about the Seattle Seahawks. The season is only 17 weeks long. So
we still kind of think your neon accents are cool.
Oh yeah, your jerseys are still going to look sweet. I didn't know we could go off the board that easily. Yeah, your jerseys are sweet.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think they're better than everybody else does.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I do. I think they're so much better than anybody else does. The throwing dirt on them is just comical to me.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the quarterback, name one thing they don't do well.
Yep, that's it.
There you go.
Block.
And the line's going to be drastically better.
I hope so.
I mean, we liked both the moves they made in the starting lineup.
With James Daniel and who was the other one?
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Yep, we like those moves, though. I remember that. They'll be able to run the ball. I just don't trust their quarterback situation. And they're in the toughest division. Should Cleveland have Deshaun Watson, that is no doubt to me I'd say it's a close race for the toughest division in the NFL with the AFC West. Speaking of the AFC West, your Las Vegas Raiders.
I don't understand the hatred on Josh McDaniel.
We've seen him as a head coach before.
With Tim Tebow.
Yep.
He had Tim Tebow as his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very long time ago. I did some trolling on Twitter. I was trying to find a nicer way to say that. I trolled a bunch of dum-dums that wanted to throw shade at Josh McDaniels.
Nobody's shocked.
I just don't get it. I don't get what it is that you're seeing in him that this is not going to work. Defensively, you're bringing a guy that I absolutely love and think will be a head coach in this league, and I don't think it's going to take that long.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek Carr's good. Derek Carr's good, and you just gave him the best receiver in the NFL.
Yep.
I don't care about the contract. I don't care how that's going to age. None of that matters to me.
The best receiver in the NFL who he has a history with. To me, that's important. That's an important part.
I mean, these two guys have known each other for quite some time. Right. We've already seen them be very productive together, and you still have one of the best slots in the league and one of the best tight ends in the league.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not a lot to denigrate them on. Oh, you need a right tackle. Ooh.
Yeah. You got a decent offensive line with a stable of running backs that can be effective. This is going to be a good team. New England, on the other hand, I don't like their chances.
Oh, they made Bill made a deal with the devil. They're going to they'll find some way to go 8-9, which makes zero sense.
And probably more likely they'll find a way to go 10-6 and still miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see a path of them winning 10 games.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's Bill.
I was
and
being
he found
nice
a way to do
with
it
8.
last year. He may find a way to do it this year.
I was being nice with 8. I know there's golf in my horizon, so I'm feeling very, charitable.
Right.
Nice.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. 225 pounds. That's what I weigh now. When we walked into PhD weight loss the week before Thanksgiving, I weighed 295 pounds. And in that time, I have lost 70 pounds with PhD weight loss. They're teaching me better nutrition. I am more active than I've ever been in my adult life, and I am feeling great each and every day because of it.
This is perfectly timed because tomorrow I'm playing in a charity golf tournament, which I haven't done in several years because I've gotten so heavy that being the big driver on the team, by the 14th hole, my back was so sore I couldn't hardly play anymore. Now, not only can I play in one of these tournaments, I could walk it if they asked me to. I'm sleeping better. I feel fantastic, and it's all thanks to PhD weight loss.
PhD weight loss can help you reverse the symptoms of things like type 2 diabetes and sleep apnea, all of the high blood pressure, cholesterol, all of those things. If you've been struggling with that and you need to lose the pounds, you need to get with myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans, and of the Sportsocracy as well.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 26 westbound between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound, heavy delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. On Clayton Road, moving from the Robbins Lake area to Bavard Road, heavy traffic volume. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, delays. Hendersonville Road, incident-free. Charlotte Highway moving well. Tunnel Road, no backups. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The toasted cheddar chalupa is back in town. And by in town, that means at Taco Bell. So if crispy bites of cheddar cheese toasted onto a flaky shell sounds delicious to you, get yourself a toasted cheddar chalupa at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Here's to the great American settlers. The millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, "Hey, I'm no settler. I'm an explorer." Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Globally, about 1,000 plants we depend on for food and products need to be pollinated by animals, including coffee, melons, chocolate, almonds, and even tequila. Help stabilize the declining honeybee population by planting native plants that they rely on for food, habitat, and nesting. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
You want 8 of the flutes and onyx.
Shira's hand-blown glassware blows right off her store's shelves.
Check the back for more indigo bowls.
She needs an inventory manager to help keep her stock on lock.
These are 100% borosilicate. Those aren't. Hey, can someone check the temp on the kiln?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Rose, yeah. Gold last long, it's TP Gold, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one, lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Are you ready for summer? Wherever summer takes you, make sure you take your favorite radio station with you on your adventures with the free iHeartRadio app. That's right, no matter how far from home you travel, this station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be right there with you in your pocket.
Summer soundtrack.
Sunscreen, flip-flops, and the free iHeart app. Must-haves for any summer checklist. Download the free iHeartRadio app and discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love this summer.
Now is the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingles Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Land to Sky distributors fleet. Start with 2 weeks paid time off and paid holidays. Our drivers average over $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Land to Sky offers excellent pay and a great benefits package. 6 months of CDLA driving experience is required to apply. Visit ingles-markets.com/careers to know more. That's ingles-markets.com/careers.
Dirty Turkish back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
I'm going to try my best not to throw shade at this guy any more aggressively than I have to. Troy Eklund is a former All-American baseball player at the University of Arkansas. And now he has a little side gig as a commentator for college baseball for ESPN. Well, apparently Mr. Eklund is not particularly good at social media because he fell for a troll account when calling the Tennessee college baseball tournament game over the weekend because one of their players was not playing. Evan Russell is the kid's name. He's one of the best players on the team. He did not play. And Troy Eklund decided to say that was because he had tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, and now the entire team would be tested. There's only one problem. None of that's true. It's not only is it not true, there's not a shred of truth to it. I get that you could not be good at social media. I get that. This is a sport that is not covered very aggressively. So when these kids get on big ESPN, you have to be on your big boy game because this might be the only time they ever get mentioned, ever. So you have to be a little better than I got duped by a troll account and then put out a canned statement on Twitter to apologize. Do better. I'm mad.
The Los Angeles Rams have done the opposite to Aaron Donald. They have not made him mad. He is very happy as he secures the bag. They have restructured his contract to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. No new years added to Donald's contract. It now guarantees him $65 million over the next 2 seasons and $95 million through the 2024 season, according to Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, I would say that means we can stop talking about, well, Aaron Donald could retire.
In all, Donald nets a $40 million raise over his previous contract, which carried a base salary of just $9.25 million into the 2022 season. Aaron Donald, I don't feel like, was ever going to not play this year.
That was always a fake news story, and it was a way to go, hey, you ready to pay me yet? Because it's that time.
Well, he kept telling everybody, apparently, for years, that 8 years was all he wanted to play in the NFL. And after his 8th season and winning a Super Bowl with the LA Rams this past year, he was letting it out there without a new deal. I'm going to walk away. And he got his money. Good for him. So the LA Rams, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with again in this 2022 NFL season as the defending champs, and now Aaron Donald with the bag. We will not have a program for you tomorrow afternoon. Jeremy's going to be out playing golf at the Brad Johnson Celebrity Classic. We will be back with you on Wednesday where, we'll, who knows what we'll talk about, but we will have Game 3 of the NBA Finals coming up Wednesday night. We will see you back here Wednesday at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Tuesday and Wednesday for us, and kind of a soggy forecast here into the midweek. Could see some half-inch plus downpours here, kind of a wet weather pattern this week. A front approaches Asheville for Tuesday and Wednesday from the west. 62 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Scattered storms Tuesday, 79. And then more showers, thunderstorms Wednesday, and a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by